Hi, I'm Paul Wilkinson and I'm filming from Kathmandu. I've been in Nepal now for about 7 years making documentaries about Himalayan shamanism and about ritual and the festivals of Nepal as well. So these are two very ancient Mugger shaman bells tuned a perfect fifth apart. So they're tuned so you can get these tremendous harmonic rhythms for going into trance state. And I've got a couple of different pairs of bells here. So I'm just going to demonstrate how they're used. So this pair has the circle shape, which is for the sort of earth and for wholeness and a doorway through into other worlds. And you have a shaman riding on the back of each horse, and then the horse is a vehicle. It's the vehicle, like in the way, same way as the shaman drum is. This is a dengaroo. Is seen as the vehicle of the shaman. So it's the way in which they travel, or one of the ways in which they travel, using trance, using rhythm, using sound, through the different worlds to open up their consciousness and to pass into an altered state. So these are also Mugger shaman bells, several hundred years old, from far west Nepal, from a very remote area. And the Mugger shaman are semi-nomadic, so they travel with their herds all the way from Tibet across Nepal and into India, and then they're trading sheep and yak and horses, cattle, and they're buying metal and silk and other things. And so for thousands and thousands of years they've practiced this sort of journeying back and forth. So a lot of their items are incredibly beautiful, quite naive in form, but all these would have been made from wax and then burnt out with the molten bronze through a process called the lost wax technique. Just finding the rhythm with these. So one of the things when you're using breath, so this yoga teachers would know about this, or yoga practitioners or Tai Chi or martial arts practitioners, you can pump the breath up and pull up from the perineum, and it begins to pull the energy. So quite often when the Himalayan shaman begin to go into trance, the energy comes and it makes them vibrate, and you get like shock waves coming up from the perineum and up through the back. And then I'll show you this other set of bells. These are really interesting. They've got two seated shaman figures in the lotus posture, wearing their shaman crowns, and then the archway is like the door for the shamanic tam. These are also mugger shaman. And they're tuned just a little bit apart, so you've got that space between the inner ear. So it produces like a type of internal beat. I don't know how much the microphone will pick up, but at some point I'll demonstrate this with other shamans so you have the full effect, because normally there would be drums and other things going and mantra as well. So quite often the bells come in as individual bells, but these are really unusual because they're pairs. So you also have sets of shamanic bells, and these have a variety of different types of bells, and also the way in which the forged chain is created also has a symbolic meaning. So you can always tell the old ones because the forged iron has flattened hammer marks where it's been done by hand. And then that one's really unusual, but quite often that figure of 8 has the same meaning as it does in the West, so it's connected to eternity. And then you have these open bells, and the single slit bells like that are seen as the feminine. So this is all female bells. Oh, and with one male bell. So you're used, and another male bell. So you end up with these number sequences between female bells and male bells. And in this case, probably the open one would be the child bell. So the traditional way to wear this is like this, and they usually wear 2, so that as you're drumming, it would get going. Right. Traditional way is to play from this side, so the energy of the drum is actually going into the I'm getting bitten by mosquitoes here, and I can see my cameraman is as well. So you can see I'm tucking the handle of the drum into my hip bone, so it makes it incredibly ergonomic. You can also put that onto the person that you're healing, or drum from this side, so the sound waves go into the person as you're healing, like this. But I'll just show you a little bit with the. camera. Switch over. This is for hanging the drum into the roof of the temple. So most shamans have a temple room, and the drums are either stored on their side or they're hung up like that. So they're never allowed to lay face down. That's seen as very disrespectful. It probably also has a practical side where you're protecting the leather. But I've just switched over, so trying to keep that away. I'm going to pull out of this because I'm slipping into a deeper state. So I'm going to demonstrate another simple technique. So the traditional thing is to actually, how to get that on. The traditional thing is to wear 2 bell chains around the shoulder. But I found this is really effective as well. So I'll just say a little bit about this stuff as well. So this is a nagamala made of snake bone, and it's the snake vertebrae still in the sequence of the snake with a couple of rudraska. This is a Mugger Shaman bell chain with a sort of magical amulets inside with the cowrie shells, and this is got small bells on it. This is the kneecap of a blue deer. It's from the very, very high up in the mountains, and this is a masham. It's like a very powerful ghost or spirit used by the shaman to sort of call up to do difficult work, to go and get information from the different worlds, to find out maybe the cause of someone's illness. So I'm going to play a little bit more freestyle. thank you. That's just a really brief demonstration about some of the tools that can be used in Himalayan shamanism for going into trance. And any one of these can be used on their own. There are other instruments that, like, they use arm bone trumpets and thigh bone trumpets and conch shells and various other types of metal plates and things to get these percussive rhythms. But the idea of trance is that you're producing, or trance rhythms, is they tend to have a type of repetitive quality that takes your consciousness on a journey and opens up a type of internal space. So even with the bells, you can hear there's a type of they're all tuned, so there's a sort of richness of harmonics. So and the bells also can be used for cleaning a space or cleaning the energy on a person, for calling spirits, or for scaring off negative energy. Absolutely wonderful. Hope that was interesting and helpful. If you have any questions, do leave comments and do subscribe to the channel. Lots more videos coming. Thank you very much.